To be or not to be? That is the question. I just got done watching The Beekeeper, directed by David Ayer, and here is my honest opinion. Spoilers ahead. This film here, I was actually surprised. I've seen a couple of the trailers. I'm like, okay, I like it. I like these over-the-top action films such as your John Wicks and stuff. And I was like, hopefully we can get something like that from here. We sure did, honestly. So the film starts with our beekeeper, Adam Clay, who's an ex-classified military man who's collecting a beehive from a shed. Now, the owner of the shed, who's a wonderful old lady, then thanks him, and he replies by saying, "You're the only one that's ever really cared about me." Now, this is pretty crucial to the story. The fact that this lady has really opened up her life to this beekeeper, I guess showed that she's cared for him. She then gets scammed on the computer from some scammers, and they take up the $2 million of charity money. While she's getting scammed in the scene, it keeps cutting back to Adam Clay making some honey, collecting the honey from his beehive and stuff. And it's weird how these two scenes correlate together, but it works, and I was all for it. Adam then goes and delivers some honey to the lady, but ultimately finds the lady dead on her couch from suicide. Now, the daughter, who's an FBI agent, rocks up to the house and arrests Adam because she thinks that he was the one that killed his mother, but he's let out the next day after being cleared that he wasn't involved. The beekeeper then, gives some bee metaphors and stuff, how he's going to protect the hive and all that, which I was like, okay, buddy, calm down, all right? It was a little bit cringe, but I thought it was still kind of cool at the same time. He then rocks up to the call center and burns it down to bring justice to the woman that got scammed, but he doesn't stop there. We then cut to the FBI trying to track down Adam Clay, but he's always one step in front, being a sneaky little bugger, or should I say sneaky little bee, taking down anyone who was in his way to get to the quote-unquote queen bee, which is the head of the scamming corporation. Eventually taking out the boss of the company and throwing himself out a window, disappearing into the water. That's the basic plot of The Beekeeper. So we have our main front of this film, Jason Statham, who is a fantastic actor and really has a niche in these action films. And it was kind of cool for him to get this like John Wick figure of being invincible with plot armor, which a lot of people are like, oh, I hate those type of films, but calm down, it's just a bit of entertainment and something The Beekeeper does really well. Jason Statham, fantastic role. He minimal talking, but his facial expressions and his character says it all. We then have Josh Hutcherson, who plays the villain, I guess, of the film, the boss of the corporation, who is the one pulling the strings on all the little guys. Followed by Emma Raver Lampman, who plays one of the FBI agents and the daughter of the old woman who killed herself. Honestly, her character was kind of poor, and the chemistry between Nick's character's Tommy just didn't do any justice. They try to give them a bit of comedic buddy cop vibe, and I didn't personally like it. Every time they came up on screen, I was like, see you later, get out of here. But the acting was still pretty solid in this film. Now, the pacing of the film honestly wasn't too bad. It definitely had its moments where it just dragged a little bit. Most of the time, when the fighting and the action came on screen, I was entertained, and I couldn't wait to see the next scene and the build up to that scene. So I was actually very impressed with the pacing of the film, which, be proud, Beekeeper, because yeah, I didn't feel bored in this movie. All in all, The Beekeeper is a fantastic film, and one of those films where if you do like John Wick or like an action fighting film, I think you'll have a blast. Only downside I'm going to give it is there's too much bee quotes, which kind of loses me a little bit. Like having Jason Statham's character be like this real tough bloke, but then go, I protect the hive, or like, I'm going to kill the queen bee. Like, yeah, I get it, you're the beekeeper. But I was just like, calm down, like a little bit cringy. But at the same time, I didn't mind it at the same time. You needed that perfect balance, and I think they kind of pushed it too much, and they didn't give us that perfect balance. But they made it up with some of the kills. Some of the fight choreography in here was amazing. Especially when it was unrealistic at times, and you're like, nah, G did not just take down the entire SWAT team. Like, I thought those were some of the best scenes because they really had to put a lot of work into how he was going to hit that guy without getting shot or kicked, and it worked really well, especially when they're at the party at the very end, which kind of just spawned out of nowhere, this party scene, but I was all for it. And they had someone who had killed a beekeeper before fight on Adam Clay. It was all silent for the fight, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool. The fight stuff and that, definitely solid. So for The Beekeeper, I'm actually going to give this one a 7 out of 10. Very good film, very amazing action film. Especially, like I said, if you do like the John Wick series, I think you're going to have a bit of blast with watching Beekeeper. Apart from that, be kind, love one another. Thank you guys so much for checking out this film, and I'll see you in the next one.
I'm getting all that honey.